Hi and welcome to Little Hatchlings Art Lessons. Today I'm here with my son and we're going to teach you guys how to draw a sea turtle. And the reason why we chose a sea turtle for today is because...
Ta-da!
Ta-da! We have a cool new background that I painted and we're just really excited about it. We're really in the mood of sea turtles because we've been watching me paint it for the last month. There was a wall in the art studio that needed to be covered up because I had been really messy in a different painting that I had done, and so I decided to cover it up with a mural, and I had a lot of fun painting this mural over the whole wall. So this is just a super fast time lapse of the whole process. If you want to see a longer time lapse of all of the painting, you can check out the video in the link below. Now you guys get to learn how to draw a sea turtle with me and my son.
Unless you actually already know how to draw a sea turtle and you're just drawing it
for fun. Okay, so we're using ultra fine tip Sharpies because we want to be able to do the fine details in this sea turtle. So to start out, we're gonna start with the front of the sea turtle's face. We go down like that.
right here.
Mm-hmm. Then we want just like a little curve right at the top. And it's got kind of a flat top of the head. And then comes down. Okay, and then this last part, kind of a diagonal. All right, so now the mouth comes over and then down. And then it creates this cool little pattern. And on its face, we're gonna fill in these pattern markings that it makes. So there's another shape. The shapes don't have to be exactly like mine. And then here's another shape up here. And then you kind of want it to line up from that one. You see that line? Mm-hmm. And then it comes over and then up. And you don't really want it to hit the top, but it can if it did. That's fine. But you want to like leave a little space in between that line and that shape. And now you can see where we're using the ultra fine tip point is because of these little patterns within the sea turtle. If you don't have ultra fine tip, then you should probably just use a pencil. Okay, or a pen.
Just a pencil.
Or a pen.
I accidentally touched the other pattern.
That's okay. Like I said, the patterns don't have to be exactly like mine. Okay, so we're making another pattern right next to that. This is the marking around its eye. So it actually makes kind of like a half oval shape right there. And then the eye goes inside of that.
And it's a weird eye.
And there's his eye. Or her. His or her. And then you've got a shape going behind the eye. Right there. It's okay. And then I made it so big I can only fit one more shape in there, I think.
I can.
If you can fit two, well, I guess I could do a small one right there. So it makes kind of a cool, like, spotted pattern, almost, I guess you could say, where you just make these little rectangular shapes, or trapezoids, however you want to think of them, that go down in a pattern. And then it ends right here at kind of an angle. So now we're going to make another pattern over here, right next to it. And these ones are not quite as rectangular.
And not square.
Yeah. And then some little ones right here. And that's it for that pattern on the sea turtle's face. The hawksbill.
No, I have no clue what type you wanted to make it.
I'm not a sea turtle expert. I don't know which kind it is. But I do know yours is looking cool. All right, so now we'll do the bottom part of his mouth. So it's a curve in, and then another curve in.
Mine
Nice.
looks like a turtle.
Okay, so now we're gonna make the top part of his shell, like that.
Right there.
Mm-hmm. And the bottom part of his shell, kind of, you think, go behind and come out and
Right
down.
here.
Okay. Yeah, it'll be kind of just, you think about where it lines up. And then, if you don't like how the throat looks, I think mine might be a little too big. This is where we're filling in. Right here. We're creating that space in between the shell and the fin, the leg. I don't know. Okay, so now we think, okay, let's draw where the neck is with these little lines. We're making curved lines that become wrinkles when we draw them like that. And then we think, okay, now we're gonna go over from there and then up. And then that's the top part. So we're making the fin. It goes up, over, down at a diagonal, and then curve it around. Okay, let's see you make that arm. Over, diagonal, and then curve it around. And then we're gonna make like an arrow. And then curve it up and in. And so that's the arm. Nice. And then we want to think about the shell coming down in the arm. And we're filling in that shell area right there. And then I want to make a little ridge along the top part of his shell. Okay. And so now I need to fill this in more on mine. Okay. So we've got one fin in, and we'll do the pattern in a little bit. Okay.
The circles.
Yeah, we'll do the circular pattern in just a little bit.
That takes so long.
Yeah, it does take long. Okay, so let's do the bottom part of the shell. So it comes over and then up a little bit, and then back down a little bit. And then up again to here. And then we want to draw the other arm. So we're making a little hook shape up and then out. And then the fin is up and over, comes back down and in. And it meets up down there. So now we can finish our turtle shell.
Mine is weird.
So I'm making a ridge right here. And then continuing it down and meeting up right there. And then we can fill in this area. So yeah, I had one line go a little astray, but then I'll just show with these lines how this is all gonna get filled in. And then this is all gonna be those like little wrinkles, those little circles. But this area is all filled in. Okay. So I'll fill those in later with like a bigger Sharpie probably.
What?
This undershell area. Or we can fill it in with colored pencils when we do the coloring.
No, I think bigger Sharpie.
Bigger Sharpie. Okay, let's do that in a bit. Let's continue on with the undershell. So it's close to right there, and then it's gonna go down along with it, and then it's gonna go up. Make kind of a curve-ish shape right there, like a little arch. And then it kind of just disappears right there. Okay, so now we're gonna make this pattern. She's being so loud in the background. Oh well. Okay, that's real life for us. We're gonna make a V right here. And then turn it into a Y. And then we're gonna make a curve like that. And then this curve comes out of it. And this curved line comes out of it right there. Then one more branch off right there.
And one more branch down.
Yeah, see? I was thinking of leaving that off, but that does look good. Okay, so now we're gonna do his back fins. So we start our line right about here, and it's kind of a diagonal over, and then down, and then we're gonna bring it back up to there. Okay, and then the other fin is more of a pointed shape, like that. And then there's like a shadow right here that you can include. And this part is kind of in shadow too. And a shadow right here along the turtle shell where it kind of meets together. Okay, so now we're gonna do the pattern on the arms. That looks so good. Okay, so the pattern starts right here at like the armpit area. We're gonna do kind of a rectangular shape, and then another one across from it, and then just keep making these rectangular shapes that kind of sometimes turn into triangular shapes.
And they sometimes match. They kind of form the outline.
Mm-hmm.
Have the outline of the other one.
Yeah. Okay, and then this. They can be smaller. And if your pattern isn't the same as mine, no big deal.
Mine is not.
That looks cool.
It looks like a Swiss Army one.
And every sea turtle probably has a different shape and pattern, so
Definitely.
we are cool with it if yours doesn't look exactly like mine. Mine isn't even looking exactly like the first one I drew. And all the sea turtles in my background are actually all different too. So anyway, there's that arm. And now let's move on to this arm. Let's start at the tip this time. So the way I like to do it is I make that shape first, and then come down from there. So it like kind of divides it at the tip. So it's like 4 rectangles at first, and then you can start getting a little crazier with your pattern shapes. Okay, so as you start getting close to here, you want to start making your circles smaller.
Really?
Yeah, and they can actually start meeting up together and making that scale type of pattern. And I'm going to turn it to time lapse in just a second because this part takes a while. But what you're just going to do is make these scales. Right here is just wrinkles. On the neck it's just wrinkles. But then everywhere else, so all of this area, we're going to make scales. And the way you make those is by making little squarish circles all lining up right next to each other.
Really small.
Yep. Another reason why we're using the fine tip. Okay, so here we go on time lapse. After we finish the scales on the front, then we are going to start coloring, and feel free to pause at any point to get caught up, and you can look at these reference photos. I'm also going to add in the reference photo that we're going off of that I drew on the iPad previously. So yeah, just have fun coloring and pause it when you need to. I just wanted to turn it back to regular video now that I'm done coloring. I want to show that you can go back over some areas that you might have done some colored pencil over the pattern, and you can go back over it with Sharpie to bring back some of those dark tones that maybe got muddied up a little bit when you colored with the colored pencil. And so you can fix up, like go back through and fix up any lines, fix up any of these spots that you want to do, or do like my son here and draw extra fun things in your scene. He's drawing a shark and a crab on the shell. Show it with, move your hand for a second. So he's drawing a crab on the shell. And on my backdrop that I painted here, the mural on our wall, I painted coral reef, I painted fish, and I even did like a wave above. So you can have fun drawing different things. Feel free to pause the video here and look at the mural I painted and see the cool different things you could add to your sea turtle scene to make it fun. And oh, one other thing.
I'm drawing a fish.
Cool. One other thing, sea turtles aren't like all these bright blue and green colors necessarily. They are reflecting the colors that are under the ocean. We would love to see what other fun things that you added to your sea turtles. We'd love to see how yours turn out. So take a picture and send it to us. You can do that by tagging me on Instagram at Sarah Hatch Art Studio.
Or you could play tag with her.
We can play tag. We will see you next time, and thanks so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss our future videos, and go ahead and check out our other videos. Bye!